Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 72nd episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I'm Travis Snail. I'm the 60-minute man, Travis Snail. I literally have a list of all these nicknames, and I just try to think. That has nothing. I know when I put it down, I'm like, oh, save it for this time, but I have to pull it out because I feel like when we were doing Comic-Con and E3, I just was getting another rhythm of doing nicknames, and I love the nicknames. And I'm joined by.
You gotta go theme though.
I know. But I feel like we've done so many Star Wars ones. I'm running out. We've done commentary tracks. We've done movie reviews. We've done. So it's like I feel like I've used Rebel, Scum, Sith. I've used everything. I'm sure you haven't because you know something.
Well, I was just gonna go with the Sith Taylor.
Taylor. Exactly. And as you've guessed it, today we're gonna be talking about the Rogue One trailer, a few other bits of news here and there. I guess and what we're going to do, if you listen to our past episodes, we did this with Assassin's Creed, we did this with the very first Star Wars trailer, I feel like we did this with one other one.
You mean Force Awakens trailer, or the first Rogue One trailer?
We didn't do the first Rogue One, we just talked about it. I thought there was one other trailer where we, if you don't know, usually with our trailer
X-Men, you guys did X-Men.
Right, me and Dylan did, yeah. So like, what we do is we watch it frame by frame and we talk about it, and then we're going to do that, get into some news. Overall, before we start this, how did you feel about the trailer?
I wasn't disappointed.
That's good.
That's all I can say. It has me more amped than Force Awakens, I should say. But
really?
Yeah.
How come?
I've always wanted to know a bit more about this time period, and I mean I'll get more into it as we dive into the trailer here. But it's setting, the atmosphere. It just has me so pumped up.
It's funny, and I feel bad saying this. I think the trailer is good to maybe even great. But it didn't really affect my excitement. I'm kind of just at the same level. I didn't watch it and be like, oh, I'm less excited, but I didn't watch it and be like, I'm more excited. I think I'm just at the right level of excitement. I think other than like 2 weeks before the movie, that's when I'll be like super hyped. But it's just like, I think it's still, for me, it's still that this is not even for Star Wars, but for any films, I'm not really the biggest prequel guy. Because one of my favorite things is watching trailers and being like, man, what's going to happen? Where this, we know they're going to get the plans. You know, we know Vader's not dying. So it's like, I'm excited to see it because it looks great, and like the thing for me, the biggest thing is it looks like just visually great. Like we'll get to it, but the one shot, I think it's the first shot, if not, it's very close with the Star Destroyer, right? I always screw that one up. Star Destroyer, like over the planet. That's a great shot. One of my other and the Vader one's good too, but the one that I love is when I almost call it Ray. When Jin is walking on the catwalk and that TIE fighter pops up, like the film looks beautiful. It almost looks for me more. It looks like a bit more beautiful in Force Awakens, just the way it's shot, you know. But the Star Wars is great for that, for giving these like iconic like moments. But it's like it was a good trailer. I thought it did stuff. I thought it told the story well. I'm happy we got to see Vader, and I actually really like in the middle of the trailer of all like the rounding up the characters, which we'll talk about. But I watched them like, okay, yeah, good. Like it looks good. You know, I guess it's more for me. It's like I was just hoping it didn't look bad, but I didn't walk away being like this was one of the greatest trailers ever of all time. But I don't know if that's just because, like I said, if it's like. I kind of know what's gonna happen, so but I'm still excited. So I guess we'll start this off. You're probably not gonna follow along if you want to. We're starting right at the 0 second, but we talk enough that you'll know where we are. So starting right at 0, Star Wars official 1, and then what planet is this supposed to be? So it's like ships flying all over. It looks city based, but it looks kind of not Tatooine, but kind of rocky.
Yeah, like.
The buildings look really nice for like a rocky type of setting, because most times like in Jakku and Tatooine, I feel like most of the rocky sand places are kind of shitty, the houses and whatnot, where they look pretty nice.
They look very, very nice.
Yeah. And you don't, where do you think this is?
Well, the guy from the Clone Wars is in this. What's his name again?
Saw Gerrera, I think.
It's in Rogue One or in real life?
Oh, you mean I'm talking about
his character name.
His character name is like Saw Gerrera, and then like his real name is Forrest Whitaker.
Okay, because and Saw he's from a planet called Onderon in the Clone Wars, and I was trying to compare pictures, and they look very, very similar, and it would make sense why he's
Alderaan.
Onderon.
Onderon. Oh, so it's not. There's Alderaan, and then there's
Alderaan, and then Onderon.
Oh. Come
it's
on, guys.
Onderon.
Why so close? Let's continue.
But I was trying to look and compare. I mean, you can't really compare cartoon to the real life.
The live action.
Yeah. But I mean, it kind of looked very, very similar. That's my kind of hunch that it's taking place on. especially because the character is on this planet still.
Yeah, and he's the one narrating at least the first half of the trailer. Speaking of he definitely seems crazy, and it's he's definitely, and they've talked about that and how he has a connection with Vader and everything. But he seems like he's been through the ringer, so we'll carry on. But even that good establishing shot of the trailer, just zooming out, you seeing all these ships and whatnot.
The sound, I think, that slow, just. It's a dark twist.
Well, that's the thing that, honestly, I feel like this trailer got me more excited as, a film buff or, film fan more than the Star Wars fan, because I love the shots in this, but the music is fantastic. I hope that whoever's scoring these trailers are the same people scoring the film, because this could be my favorite Star... And not to disrespect John Williams, I just like kind of a little darker stuff. I love, Dark Knight score, because it just has that weird, Joker dark edge to it, Hans Zimmer and everything like that. I like a little darkness, and that's what this feels like. It feels like Star Wars, but just with some shade on, very much what they did with the Jurassic World theme. I think we've talked about it before, where it's you get the similar beats, but it feels like this totally different beast. And I think they have 3 separate songs in the trailer.
They do 3 different tones.
And they all are great.
Perfect.
And and that's what I mean. It might be my favorite Star Wars track, and it might be my top 10. It's really, really hard to say, but that's the thing from the first teaser, and that's my favorite thing, even more than seeing Vader, to be honest. Because Vader, he's going to be good probably no matter what, but the music is so important to Star Wars, because that sets the tone. To me, it's people talk about who's the most important to Star Wars. I think obviously you got George Lucas, but John Williams was just as important, because if you don't have the theme and Han and Leia's love theme, all these moments are connected. That's probably some of my problems with the prequels. Not as much of the score was memorable. So this score just sounds great. And obviously we're talking about the score because you're not going to be able to hear, because we don't want to get sued, folks. Saw Guerrero looking super crazy. Hair is gray, beard's gray. Yeah, this is a shot I just talked about. It's probably, let's say if it is on, it looks like it's on, and that is just, I'll play it a bit more, but that literally looks like something out of a video game. Look, it looks like out of Battlefront. It's crazy good, that shot of, we're talking about one for the Star Destroyer over this planet.
Coliseum looking thing.
Yeah, and looks like a strange laid out planet, because this Coliseum is just in it looks like literally when we play middle nowhere. So do you think it's maybe a docking station for ships?
It must be something, but I feel like they're obviously got some kind of secrecy going on in there, because maybe obviously you see that.
You're talking about the Empire has.
Yeah, so I think.
Well, I don't even know if they have to have. Well, I guess they could, but at this point, don't you feel like the Empire doesn't have to be that secret? Because this is the point where they're really taking over, or it's just near the tail end of.
I feel like they still are, because there's still the rebellion has already started, and it's really powerful. So I feel like they still have to be very secretive. When he's talking, from the very beginning part of the trailer there in that dark tone, when Saw's talking and he's saying how, what did he say? He said something darkness has taken over the world, or the world is...
I can't remember. I should have watched it right before. I watched it a bunch last night, but I didn't watch it before this, guys. But it's to me, it was just lots of doom and gloom. We're in trouble, or the universe, the world isn't... The galaxy is in trouble.
That's what really got... as soon as that part happened, I was sucked right in. When he was saying, the world or whatever is taken in darkness or whatever, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it, because... and you see in the other movies, you don't see the Empire's tech and the Empire full on too much. Empire Strikes Back, you get to see them kind of dominate a little bit, but you don't get to see... But it's still
from the hero's perspective a lot, so you don't see much of it.
And you don't get to see and really experience that dark tone, but this is where, I love the Empire so much, and in this, you get to see the Empire, they're at full force, they have nothing really putting up a resistance, and it's dark, and they are in command of everything. And to see it from this person's point of view, just how afraid and how they feel like they need that little beacon of hope of some kind, and that they're desperately trying to just branch out. I don't know, it just sucked me right into
No, I
this
see what
excitement.
you mean too, because that was always my problem. What I didn't like with the prequels is I wish what happened in the third one kind of happened in the second, and the third one we got this full on Vader killing a bunch of Jedis, taking over. Vader as Vader, not Anakin. And that was the thing of in Revenge of the Sith, it felt like we literally just started just when they're about to take over, and you don't really get any of that. I know there's books and comics and the animated shows, but for just speaking of someone that's more familiar, just the movies, in the movies you didn't see any of that, it felt like they're all in control until the last half of the movie, but even then it ends with Obi-Wan winning, so it's they still feel it doesn't feel like I said earlier, doom and gloom, where this does feel there's despair and desperation in this trailer. I think that's what it gets across really well, is that the rebellion and rebels they seem to be at a disadvantage, you know, where it does seem to be the Empire is taking over, has taken over. Like, you get this, like, almost this, like, suffocation feel for the rebels.
Yeah.
And that's what I do like about it. Shot of just Jin, Jin. Now, they say, this is the part where she's, like, about their shackles and everything like that. So, I think, I'm not sure if it was revealed or not. Are we thinking that she... Like, what is she... I can't remember, because at one point I thought there was rumors that she was with the Empire and maybe, like, jumped over, but I wouldn't think so, I guess, because she's in... I don't know if she's in shackles. Like, why do you think she's in shackles? Do you think she was a part of the Empire? Do you think she's an enemy of the Empire? Like, because they clearly make a big deal of, like, oh, take these shackles off and, like, let's get down to business.
I think she was probably... I have a hunch she was with the Empire at some point.
Yeah.
And, I mean, even as they say in the previous trailer to this, like, stolen property, imperial documents, all this stuff that she did, I feel like maybe she jumped ship from the Empire for some reason, because she says it herself, I rebel, and so maybe the rebellion feels kind of like we got a loose cannon here, that's why we've arrested her or taken her into custody, and they're just trying to see what she'll do and kind of coax her into their operation, because it seems they're all just a band of misfits when you look at them.
Well, I wonder how much it will have to do with maybe helping or getting her dad back. That's the one thing that I like and dislike. I dislike because, once again, no Mads Mikkelsen in the trailer, so always going to dislike. But I do like that there is this air of secrecy, because I do want to know. All signs seem to, as far as rumors and what he said, seem to point that he's a scientist or someone big to do with building the Death Star. And the thing is, like, I do want to know, is this, like, against his will sort of thing? Or is he just kind of a weapons manufacturer that's just going to go to the highest bidder? Or is he with the Empire? And that's one thing I do like from the trailers, even though I'd like to see him, is we don't get this feeling of where he is. And that could be her motivation. She could she probably wants to help the rebellion. But if the Empire, like, has her dad hostage, I imagine that's a pretty big motivator. So I do like that that's kind of up in the air. They definitely show you a lot of, like, Jin moments here. It's Mon Mothma's back. That's good. That shot I think they used in the really teaser, cool. But that's cool. It's
they didn't use the frontal shot.
Right.
In the
they just used this Death Star, like putting the disc in. Yeah. All the shot. That's just gonna say, like, all the shots are beautiful. All the shots that are pretty much like these main ones about the Death Destroyer.
Star Destroyer. Death Destroyer.
Always called the Death
Destroy
Destroyer.
Death.
And then the Death Star, like. They make them look so beautiful, but, like, ominous at the same time.
I like how they're, as I said before, they're so close up. Like, in the other movies, they were so at a distance.
Yeah,
but here,
for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons,
yeah. But 70s, 80s.
They've got it right in your face. Like, just soak in this awesome visual, pleasureful, I don't know.
Smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord. That's a perfect word. I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, and then we got lots of talk between Jin and I can't remember his character's name. I just know it's Diego Luna, and he's a fantastic actor. If you haven't seen him, for people that don't out there haven't seen him in anything, he's I can't remember his name, but he's the main guy that's talking with Jin in the trailer, and he's talking about how Disney kind of say, like, he's been with the rebellion his whole life or
he's
something.
He's been
like
recruiting people, I think.
Yeah.
He wants to go with her.
He is the one that actually got me the most interested in this, like, not the movie, but just, like, out of this trailer. He's the one of the parts I took away, like, oh, I think I'm going to like his character, and I want to know about his story. He's definitely going to die, because he just looks too friendly, but he's a great actor, so I'm really excited to see what he can do.
There's the U-wing.
The U-wing that everyone's freaking out about, which is good. Yeah, and then this is when he's dropping that line. And then even then, the cockpit shots of them talking are just shot really well. Like, it just looks so beautiful. And then this is... Some people are speculating... I think this is this planet with a bunch of the fighting and everything like that. Because people are speculating, we'll talk about later, that this is this new planet, Jedha. And I'll read the whole quote. But for you, Taylor, because Taylor doesn't know what the planet is, apparently it has something to do with that... Either the planet is force sensitive, or, like, force sensitive people go to this planet. So it's, I guess people are assuming that it might be like the home base of Jedi, like where it originated from. That's apparently what this planet might be. I got the exact quote. Hang on. Let's see. This was the director. He said, "We're trying to find a physical location we could go to that would speak to the themes of losing your faith and the choice between letting the Empire win or evil win. And good prevailing." It seems like the same thing, Empire and evil winning. But it got embodied in this place that we called Jedha. And then Jedha is a spiritual place for believers in the Force. But at the time of Rogue One, it's occupied by the Empire. I and many others, including Bressakan have been speculating. It's probably, I think it's a reporter. Sorry, Bressakan. Have been speculating that the Kyber, and lots of people have been saying this, that Kyber
crystals.
Kyber crystals are what the Empire's after. Ever since we first heard about the Kyber crystal crates, so that's apparently that. How do you feel about that? Like a planet for kind of like the Jedi religion, and obviously because Kyber crystals are used to make lightsabers, so it's. That would be... I'm right?
You're right, yeah.
I thought so. I learned something from Knights of the Old Republic. So it's like... that definitely would be a point of interest that the Empire would want to control. So lots of people have speculated that the Donnie Yen, the blind warrior guy, and like there's that fighting planet, lots of people have speculated that might be Jedha. How do you feel about just that whole package overall? I just laid on you about this planet of like Force-sensitive, Kyber crystals, the whole shebang.
Jedha, that word sounds so freaking familiar. I can't.
I don't think it is. I think
you think they made it up?
I think it's new. I don't think any canon has from there. At first, I didn't like it because it was a little on the nose, but I'm fine with it now because like Jedi.
It has a certain ring to it that sounds so very familiar. Like I remember reading like old comics that take place. They're legends now for Star Wars universe, but it takes place literally right back when. There were no Jedi or anything, but there were people that just invented the hyperdrive system, and they started finding these kyber crystals. And it starts off kind of like this. It was on a similar planet that reminds me of where they're going with this Jedha planet, which is a really, really cool concept, and I really, really like that because the Sith have their own home planet, Korriban, so it would make sense for the Jedi to have a form of origination too.
The only part I don't like about, and this is I guess always my main concern with the prequel and the Rogue One, and all the prequels, is just that they're introducing this huge thing that we've never heard about in any of the canon. And that's the thing, like, some people speculated maybe that's where, like, Luke is going to send Rey to, like, maybe make her own lightsaber or something. I don't know, but it's the same thing of, like, we had 3 films, and, like, Luke went to Yoda, and it's like Yoda never mentioned it, or Ben never mentioned it. Like, I just feel like this kind of, like, home of the Jedi, if it was never mentioned before. That's the only thing where sometimes I don't like the prequels, because they're introducing this stuff where it's like, how come this was never ever talked about again, you know? Well, and maybe we'll see why, but as, like, those 3 films and The Force Awakens, they never even dropped it as far as, like, oh, there's kind of, like, a Jedi Force-sensitive...
I'm willing to let it slide, because, I mean, if you look at, like, how many times the Sith have destroyed Coruscant, and, like, how many times the records have been wiped. I mean, even if you think about what the Empire wiped out and destroyed most of the Jedi...
She better not make a cameo from Clone Wars. It's not on the map! It does not exist! He's just asking you a question, like, leave him alone. So she better not come back.
Yeah, no kidding.
Unless Kylo Ren gets to kill her. Like, you know how he slashes the wall, so he's slashing her. It's in the maps! It's in the maps!
But I mean, even when the Empire destroyed all the records of the Jedi temples and destroyed the Jedi temples themselves, I mean, the history just kind of gets forgotten about.
And it's true, they did set that up all as Clone Wars with Kamino that, like, nobody could find unless you had the exact coordinates. So that's what I mean. I hope they explain it, and if they do, then I'll give them a pass. It is just this big thing that was jarring for me, like, we're introducing this huge thing that has ramifications big time, especially if these crystals are the ones that they use for the Death Star. But then it's like, oh, but it's gone. Like, even if they, like, maybe blow it up because, like, oh, we want no one else using these crystals, that's all I'm looking for, is some explanation to why. Even if it's a line of, like, hey, wipe this, like you said, like, wipe it out of the records. Like, I want something to be a little clear to understand, like, okay, that's why I've never heard of it, so.
I definitely can see them using, like, if they are there for these crystals, to use them for weapons, because I remember reading that in Force Awakens, the First Order's, their ships, they're all powered by kyber crystals. So it was something that the Empire was trying to get into.
Maybe
so
they're still kicking around,
Maybe.
So now we're back to the trailer. It was just after that cockpit shot of them talking. And then there's this cool shot of them, like, on, like, some sort of very dark and stormy planet. Not sure where it is. Just looks cool. It's raining on this guy. Not sure who this is. This is the part where they start to introduce the whole team. Which right away I saw, I'm like, man, they're going to do a lot more introductions better than Suicide Squad did. Because even from the trailer, I got, like, a vibe and, like, some sort of... It felt like a little background of, like, the characters. And it looks like it's going to be, like, that true kind of ragtag movie. And I don't know the character's name at all yet. They showed that first Asian fellow's a bit bigger. They showed Donnie Yen, if you know who Donnie Yen is. Who?
The martial arts movie, IP Man.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They show him. He, like, messes up a bunch of stormtroopers. All cool. Like, all stuff that's going to be cool in the movie because it's quick cuts. But it's all, like... And obviously they're putting... He's either do you think he's Force sensitive or he's just a believer?
Well,
because like look at Maz Kanata.
They said there were no Jedi or anything.
But Maz Kanata's not a Jedi, and she used the Force in a deleted scene though. So they obviously planned it, right? And they took it out. But like that's the same thing with him. I don't. Obviously, he believes in it, but I guess it's just a question of can he use it, or does he have the ability to use it?
I think he uses it because I mean his eyes. He gives off that like I'm pretty sure he's blind.
He is blind.
Okay, good.
Were you gonna say he was on those blind?
I was gonna be like, I'm pretty sure he's blind.
Yeah, no,
sure.
I think they've confirmed that he's blind.
I missed that part. But then, he's blind, but he's pulling out some Jackie Chan stunts on these stormtroopers. Yeah. So I think he's using the Force to guide him.
And some classic battle meditation, from Basila.
Because he reminds me of in Force Unleashed, Ram Koda blind and he's still fighting. So that's what kind of gist I get from that.
And then they introduced a droid who I can't remember whose name it is, but it looks very, very, very similar to HK-47 from Knights of the Old Republic, who's one of the best characters in that game. But a really good line of like, "Oh, I would kill you, but my master says like not to," or something like that.
He's also got the Imperial markings on him too. So what do you think that's about?
I'm thinking that maybe it's something like they stole a ship or something like that, and he happened to be on the ship. I don't think there's any mission that they're like, man, we need this robot, but I think it's somehow they acquired him, whether through a black market or, like I said, like a mission, and they shot down a ship or destroyed a bunker, and this guy happened to be in, and they reprogrammed him, and maybe that has something to do with him being like, I would kill you, so maybe he is like, obviously in Star Wars they've already established that there's like service droids and battle droids, but maybe he's like a battle droid with kind of like a harder edge of just like you're pretty much just killing stuff, but they laugh it off pretty quickly. Like Daga Luna in the next shot, I'm pretty sure is just like, yeah, he's laughing about it. So I think he's safe. Like I don't think they'd pull off. Maybe they'd do some cool. I don't think so. They reprogram. But maybe there'd be a scene where like the Empire could retake the robot and he kills a bunch of people. I don't think that'll happen, but they definitely made a point to put that on there. So same thing. It's the same thing. All you need is a little backstory with each character, and then just a little more flesh out, and I hope that'll be fine. Like. Say, oh, this is how we got him, and then maybe a little bit more. It's a robot, so I'm not expecting a character arc.
Huge backstory.
Yeah, but something with the robot at least, like, because that if they do just have an Imperial marking on him and it's just never explained, then it's kind of that thing of like missed opportunity or like why did you do it, And if it's the lead scene, then I don't know. Same thing. This planet, we're not sure what it is. Do you know what this planet is? It's the Death Star over a planet.
Yes, I know it's definitely not Tatooine because Tatooine has two suns, and you can clearly see it's just it's an eclipsing over one sun. The whole planet's dark,
okay.
So it's not Tatooine.
Could it be that planet from the first one, that Onderon place?
Onderon?
It looks because the same thing. If you even look at the clouds or like just the planet there, it looks sandy, but then there's pockets of like dark and gray. So it's like, could those be like the cities and whatnot?
The only I don't know. It could be Onderon. I'm trying to think of other planets that are kind of dark like that. Like there's Ryloth is another planet that looks kind of like that from the Clone Wars. Yeah. I mean, I don't know too many planets that could fit that description.
Well, I'm wondering what's going to happen because they're right. It's not because Alderaan is like there's no sand there, right?
No, it's all like beautiful Naboo style.
Yeah. So. Because, like, I'm just looking at the shot with all, like, the Imperials looking over it. Obviously, the Death Star looks like it's close. I'm not sure if they blow it up or destroy it, but...
I don't think so, because the first planet they destroy is Alderaan.
Yeah. Alderaan. And they never kill another one. They were going to... Weren't they going to blow up...
Yavin 4.
Is that where the Ewoks are?
No, that's where the
Don't tell
Rebel
me.
base.
I know.
Sorry.
No. Oh, tell me, what is it where the Ewoks live?
Endor.
Endor. Always forget Endor.
The forest moon of Endor, I should say.
Okay. But anyways, at the part where it's a bunch of Imperial, and then I always forget this. This podcast must be tired. Do you remember his name when it's in the movie?
I have no idea.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up because I feel like I forget every time. We're talking about the main villain, and not Vader, but he's
the guy with the cape.
The guy with the really badass white cape, but I gotta find out because it's something stupid easy too, like classic Star Wars, but it's like okay, where's Ben Mendelsohn? Orsic Krennic. There we go. So Krennic it's another shot. That cape makes all the shots look really good whenever he's walking.
So that's a director. Is this ranked director?
What?
On IMDb it said director
director.
So is that his rank?
I guess so, yeah.
Director? That's very strange. I've never heard of that.
Do you think this shot, because there's a shot of the cave coming, and then there's a shot of him like looking mad or looking kind of up and down. Do you think this is a scene with Vader? Because I do. Because like if we go back, the way his head is moving, it looks like he's maybe being talked down to. Because he looks like he's mad. It could just be him standing at the planet, but I don't think so. Because we just saw that shot where a bunch of people were around him, but then in this shot, other than that guard, he's completely alone.
Completely alone, yeah.
And doesn't that look like the doors to Vader's little box thingy?
It does, and I never caught on to that, but you're absolutely right. He does look like he's being talked out, and if that's the case, I love when Vader talks down these guys. I think it's hilarious.
I think that will happen for sure. I think that's gonna. I was just questioning if this will be the shot, but I think because people said apparently Krennic's thing is he's a little bit trying to overthrow Vader and prove that he should be like the one in command. So obviously it's not gonna go well for him.
No, definitely
but
not.
That is definitely the vibes I got from this shot, or like clip of like, oh, he's being talked down to. Maybe something went wrong. I don't think he's talking to the Emperor. I don't even know if the Emperor's.
I don't think he would even look at. I don't think anyone would look at the Emperor like that.
That's true. This December, that's that shot. Ewan landing, and this part of the trailer, there's just lots of great shots of really emphasizing that it's a war movie, which is good because you've heard all this stuff with the reshoots, blah, 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 but at the end of the day, it does look like a war film, and I do want that, you know, like I do, even though I say it's a prequel, I do want like a Battlefront type like movie, like I do want a movie where there's no Jedi, focus on these small characters that are in the battle that you just see on the sides in the movies, you know, that like are nothing, and I do like that. Yeah, right. It's just lots of war shots. The rebellions look like they put up quite a fight, which is good, you know, for the movie.
That guy, as you can see, he again, just like the robot, that Imperial tech, the Imperial logo on his shoulder.
Oh yeah,
so
he
does. So do you think
does.
that's on their U-wing or whatever?
This guy apparently, I think if I remember, I'm gonna pull up his name because he's a fantastic actor. He's in the Night of and Nightcrawler. It's Riz something. oh, it's my order. Okay, it's the name. Riz Ahmed, because he's like top billing. Like, wow, he's a
Bodhi Rook.
Brody Rook. He's a Rook. Apparently, his story is that he was working with the Empire, and then I think I heard him saying that kind of halfway through, or like probably halfway through the movie. But his arc is, I think it's kind of the Finn thing, where he's kind of feeling like this isn't right anymore, and he doesn't agree with them. So I think he's kind of their Finn character of turning around. So I think this is probably him on that ship, and maybe he's deciding that this isn't best, and maybe he's going to be a guy that can help them move around and whatnot, because he's a really good actor, so I hope it's not a bit role, you know? So I think that's the vibe I'm getting from him, that kind of Imperial traitor sort of deal. And then again, another shot, that like stormy planet, obviously, and that's an X-Wing, right?
That's an X-Wing, yeah.
Yeah, so
definitely an X-Wing.
I'm just wondering if there's like a chase scene or something. Oh, no, there's a bunch of...
Looks like they're going in to just do an assault.
Yeah, because there's... What are those called?
That's one of those like 4 pointed up Imperial ships. I don't know what they're called.
They're my favorite, even though I don't know.
Oh! You mean the 3 point, like when Darth Vader lands?
Yeah.
A Tidarium shuttle.
Okay. You don't know what the 4 point is?
I don't know what the 4 points that they've introduced. I don't know what that is, but that was the 3 point Imperial class shuttle.
I like that one because I like the wings go down. Yeah, classic like RPG to the AT-AT or AT-AT, however you want to say it, but like it feels very Battlefront-ish, and just even the mode, like the action and whatnot. Like it feels like a video game as far as the war. You got 2 AT-ATs there, you know, like
probably more we can't even see.
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of AT-ATs. I say them both because not to offend anybody.
I did notice that someone actually commented, and they posted a picture up, but those AT-ATs look not exactly, but their heads are different from the ones in Empire Strikes Back. And it's just basically where the cockpit viewpoint is. Okay. And I didn't even catch on to that, but someone said that the ones on Hoth were just like a different kind, like a troop transport, and these ones are of a different kind.
That makes sense. So, and I'm fine with, because I don't like when they introduce too much new stuff, because it's just like you never know how like this got to this. Like that's always my problem with the prequels too, that like even in 30 years some of the stuff they are using, I don't understand how it switched to like this machinery, but this looks like it could easily come before or even after the stuff on Hoth. Saw smiles. I'm guessing there's this, once again, a great shot. I'm thinking it's like an X-Wing or something. It's going through, and it's like...
I thought it was probably like the U-Wing with both of them.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's a U-Wing.
Freaking out in the back.
And then it's a shot of just like the ship going and like debris and crashing all around them. So I have no idea what that could be. Like literally, like that's a lot of destruction there.
I was thinking it could even have been maybe I mean, it's probably a long shot, but that Star Destroyer that was sitting idle, maybe at some point they blow that up and it's crashing down, or...
Oh, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
It has to be a big explosion. And then we got to the part where, like I said, I think my favorite moment of the trailer is when she's walking and the TIE Fighter comes up. Do you think that's an actual enemy, or do you think it's like a friend? Like
it's a friend, because if it was an enemy, that she wouldn't have the platform to be on.
What if this is how she dies?
Well, if you watch, she's limping already.
So you never know. This could be the shot where what if Vader's in there and just like and
no, Vader has his own advanced TIE Fighter. That's not what he
advanced. What if this was the one before he got like the new digs? You know.
I want to see him outside of the cockpit. I don't want to see him in the cockpit.
That's how he is the whole movie. All he sees is just get him in a TIE
That'd be
fighter.
disappointing.
And then like they show up the big team there and big team of rebellions. I'm looking for that like cat mouse sort of creature. He was laughing in that.
Oh yeah, the rocket raccoon.
Behind the scenes, everyone's like new favorite. He's definitely my favorite as well now too. So I wanted to see him, but no him. I think Donnie Yen's arm was broken there? Hang on. No, it's not. It's just costumes. And then she doesn't say, it's her looking at the team. Now, I'm wondering if it's in the movie or not, because it's not in this trailer. Remember that behind the scenes it ends with her saying, "May the Force be with us"? She doesn't say it in this trailer. So I'm wondering if she's, like, because that caught me off guard in that behind the scenes thing, because, like, I'm fine if Donnie Yen believes in it, but I still feel like the majority of the cast or the characters should still be like, well, that's not really a thing, you know? So I'm looking forward to see if that was just for like a Star Wars Celebration moment or if that's in the movie. Because if that's in the movie, I want to know why she's saying that.
I think it would suit it because if you look at other people, like when they're about to go, Luke and the squad are about to go blow up the Death Star, their commander says, "May the Force be with you," and then Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi says, "May the Force be with us."
May the Force be with you. But that one I get because you have Luke as an actual Jedi, and I don't know who says. Does anyone have importance in the first one, or was it just?
It was just their commander. He said, "May the Force be with you."
So it's just kind of like a slogan.
It's their slogan. Yeah.
It's their slogan. And then it ends with the classic heavy breathing Darth Vader looking at the Death Star plans. Pretty good. Literally, I think it's literally 2 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. It's literally 2 seconds.
That's all I needed. Yeah. That was brilliant. And again, like now that you told me about that guy being talked down to, I just want to see Vader.
I think
he's looking. I just want to see him turn around and be like, "You little shit," and just put that guy down.
The one thing I will say that's not a complaint, because for me it doesn't matter, because like I know the whole story and whatnot, but I was surprised, and I think they'll do it in the third trailer. I think they laid the story out good, got us to see a lot of the new characters, which I like. You got the Vader cameo, great shots, great music. So like I said, I think it's a great trailer. Didn't get me uber pumped, but I'm already pumped for the movie. Like it's just kind of like, I think The Force Awakens, the reason I got so pumped was because like it was just new story and you're seeing all the stuff that you could speculate. With this, like I said, at the end of the day, you know how it's going to go down. And then we didn't get any shots in this trailer to me like the last one with the Imperial Guards. I think I call them Royal Guards.
That's what they are.
They are? Okay, good. I got it right the first time with Imperial Guards. But like, we didn't get any shots like that, which is fine, but we didn't get any shots like that where that shot sticks at me and be like, oh, I know this whole story, but I have no idea what's going on there. So this, I wouldn't say it's a safe trailer, but it's like, there was no moments like that where it's like, oh man, I wonder what's going on. But the thing, I think they do need to stress in the next one for people, I always throw out my mother, mainstream people. Yes, they make it seem, they talk about, oh, they're building a weapon, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't matter, because in Force Awakens they build a weapon, the exact same thing. And you show Vader, but we've talked about this before, is that many mainstream people might just think, oh my god, Darth Vader's back, this is so cool. I think in the next trailer, and if they don't do it, then to me it's not disappointing, but kind of idiotic. Maybe they don't care, maybe they just want people to get there. But I think to avoid disappointment, they should have like verbiage or someone say something. Like I think they should really hit home the next trailer that this is before episode 4. Because for this trailer, if you're a mainstream person, you still might not know. Because even Vader, from behind, you could just be like, is that Kylo Ren's new helmet? Like, because some people even said, like I saw online once, like, why'd they recast Rey? You know, like, that thing of, like, they need to establish that this is for sure before 4. Like, Star Wars nerds knows that. People that listen to this podcast and do this podcast know that. But it's like, there's still lots of people out there that don't know it. And there's lots of people, I feel like, which I'll talk about after, but they still don't even know exactly what is Rogue One and when is it, stuff like that. Because I feel like, and we've talked about through text, we'll talk about in a second, but just like the promotion has just been very strange. So don't you think Do you agree? Do you think they have to really hit home next trailer that this is before 4, or are they just gonna kind of like, oh, like, because I don't think people seeing Vader will set that home. I think for lots of people it won't.
I don't know. Like, as a Star Wars fan, I mean, I know where it takes place.
Yeah.
I know other Star Wars fans know where it takes place. I just thought, like, everyone has seen Star Wars. I would think that everyone knows Darth Vader had a good long scene of him dying and burning. Spoiler alert, 30 years late. He was dying, literally burned.
But he's not dead. He's Snoke. No.
Just people... I mean,
but you gotta give them some credit as you live in a world where like you have Heath Ledger's Joker, but then 10 years later you get Jared Leto, so they might just think it's a reboot or something like that. Like that's the thing where people that just go see maybe 5 to 10 movies a year probably they might have an idea, but I feel like and maybe some people have put together. I'm not saying people are dumb, but I just feel like there's enough people that they literally watch a trailer once and it's like, oh, that looks cool, new Star Wars movie coming out, and I think after this one. And it's established, they'll get anytime they see a Star Wars story, which I still don't like, but anytime they see that, they'll be like, oh, okay, clicks in, means before. But because this is the first one, I feel like there's still that, like, what is this movie, you know?
Yeah.
And they don't really make it clear, like I said, because they build a Death Star in Force Awakens. So it's not like the new movies are not building Death Stars anymore. So you could just say, oh, they're making another Death Star.
I mean, like you said, I'm not gonna, like, insult or trash people as much as I feel like I should, because, like, fucking, how can people not be knowing what time period this is? But I mean, no, I understand, so I'm not gonna freak out.
But what if you, like, saw, like, a Twilight preview? Do you think you'd be able to tell if it was, like, a prequel or a sequel?
I would.
Have you seen them all?
I have seen them all.
What's a franchise you haven't seen?
I don't know. Well, I mean, Matrix maybe. I've seen Matrix, but it's old enough that maybe... Because I haven't rewatched or anything, so if they launched a new one, I may not know. But I mean, at least if I see a new Star Wars movie, I have the common sense to just... And I think most people would. They would just type in the name on Google and just read a basic thing.
But lots of people don't do that. They just see and like, oh, cool.
They just see the trailer and they think, oh, yeah, that's cool or whatever, yeah.
Now, the second thing I was going to talk about before we talk about a few of the other Star Wars news, how do you feel like the promotion's going with this movie? Because I think it'll probably be... It's either the highest movie of the year or second highest before after Civil War for money wise. I'm not saying that, oh man, they're in trouble, blah blah blah. I guess my point, this is what I'm bringing up, is I feel like the promotion... I'll actually go first because I'll make the points you can say. Like, I feel like it's been weird, you know? Like, the first teaser... When did they drop that first teaser? It didn't feel like it was fun for something special, which is fine, but I can't remember what movie it was. Let me do a quick look. But the thing...
They didn't drop it with a movie.
It was on, just like a Tuesday.
Like, it was on, like, the morning show.
It was Good Morning America,
yeah. Which they released a teaser for the teaser of the Dark Trooper, and then they launched the trailer the next day, and I was not expecting it at all. It came out of nowhere.
Which, that one, to me, is fine. I don't think I'm going to get actual specific dates here, but, like, I think that one, to me, was fine, even though with The Force Awakens, didn't they... Was it Christmas or Thanksgiving they released it? I remember it was a holiday because we were working in Target. I can't remember.
It was in, like, summer. I think it was...
Not the first teaser. The first one when it's, like, there's been an awakening and you get the Kylo Ren in the snow.
Finn, like, wakes up and you got Kylo Ren. I remember when you showed me that. That was, like, back in the summer or whatever.
No, that was a holiday because we were working... Because we had lunch given to us at Target. That's how I remember. So we had lunch made for us. So it was like a November or December.
Okay.
And then the second one, I can't remember when it dropped. And then the third one dropped. The final one dropped in the middle of Monday Night Football, which makes sense because it's like it was. I think
the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
No, it was just Monday Night Football.
Oh.
Yeah, like, and it makes sense because it's like football ratings, and it was like 2 months before. I just feel like with the first teaser it's fine, but with this, and I get it, the Olympics, lots of people watching, but they did this thing where. And granted, it was us, but lots of sources, at least I saw, were like, oh, it's 6. Well, and I said prime time. And I guess, I'm sure lots of people East Coast maybe were still watching Olympics 10 or 11, but I still feel like that was still a weird time to debut a Star Wars trailer at 11 p.m. You know, because I feel like there's probably enough people that have gone to sleep by then.
It's a dark movie for dark people, I'm assuming.
It's still going to be PG-13, though. But I just, like, and maybe it's because with The Force Awakens it had this big buzz around it and whatnot, this movie will still do great, but do you feel like there's kind of, not a lacking promotion, but it's just kind of done in a weird way this time? Like, it doesn't feel as, like, flawless. every time with Force Awakens a trailer or teaser came out, like it came out at a time where it made sense. Where this has just kind of been like just random places, you know, and like I guess Celebration got a clip, but this trailer was much more than the clip they got at Celebration, other than Vader, because the Celebration clip was just a bunch of old footage spliced together and made to look new. So like, do you feel like the promotion has been strange, or are you like, or does am I alone on an island?
It's been very, very strange. I think this trailer should have came out. They should have skipped doing it with the Olympics. I think that could have easily just been overlooked, like passed on. They should have released this trailer at Star Wars Celebration, and the people who were at Star Wars Celebration, they should have got a little bit of extra, kind of a little bit of content or some kind of extra scene or something like that.
Yeah.
But this trailer should have been available for everyone, and now people would be so much more excited, and there'd probably be a lot more people that would have seen the trailer because everyone knows about Star Wars Celebration.
Because even last night online, like for us, it came out like 7:38. But even then, online, if you're not watching the Olympics, it's still like 11 p.m. on a Thursday too. On a Friday, that was my thing too. On a Friday, I'd maybe understand because like the weekend people might not be working Saturday, they might be up, but it's like Thursday for East Coast people, 11 p.m. I don't think a good majority of people, if they're working early, are staying up that late to watch a trailer, other than if you're a Star Wars fan. I just mean like the general audience that would be online. Like my dad searching through the web. For us, it's different because our time it was 7:30, so it's like, oh, he'll probably hit it. But at 11, I don't think he's sitting around. So it was like, it was just strange, you know? Like it just didn't. It's strange, and like I said, the movie's gonna make tons of money still. It's fine. It's not in trouble, but I'm wondering where they're gonna put that third trailer. You know, like I wonder if they'll do the same thing as Force Awakens and do it like a football game.
I think they should put the trailer with a movie coming in theaters. I think they should do that because obviously they've done it on TV already.
Because they got Doctor Strange in November, but November's too. Because didn't the last Force Awakens, did it drop in November? Maybe it did at beginning November. The last Force Awakens trailer, because remember it dropped and then it was like, oh, buy your tickets, and I remember I could not log on.
Yeah, it was in November.
Let me see when Doctor Strange comes out, because Doctor Strange would be the ideal, because that's Disney. You put because lots of people said that's the reason they did, because Pete's Dragon is out this weekend, so they'll attach it to that, which it makes sense. Doctor Strange is November 4th.
See, I could easily see them.
Yeah.
Or even
the night before, and then this is linked when you go see Doctor Strange. It's like, I think by the time you go see Doctor Strange, the Rogue One trailer will be out, or it will be with this. You know, like, it makes sense. Lots of people will be seeing Doctor Strange. Yeah, it's like a smaller Marvel one, but like, Ant-Man made a bunch of money, and Doctor Strange is going to still make a bunch of money. So I think it's smart, and that's the only like big release I could see it coming out with. That, and I can't even remember if there's a Disney movie coming out still, like in between that.
Yeah.
But
do you think that they would, if they did it online, I could see them doing this easily. But if they do it with Doctor Strange, do you think they would have tickets go sale right after the trailer airs?
I think they'll do that, but I think they'll do it. I do think they'll drop it the week of Doctor Strange, so they'll either do it like I could literally see them doing the football thing again, or just dropping in like a Tuesday. I think when that trailer drops, they will do the tickets on sale now worldwide, and then people have seen the trailer, but still you'll get that refresher when you go see Doctor Strange and like, oh, Doctor Strange. So I think that's my prediction. Let me get an exact date here, because Monday I think they won't drop it on because Halloween is. When's Halloween? Is it October 31st Halloween? They won't drop it on Halloween.
No, definitely
I
not.
think my prediction is November 1st, that Tuesday. Because I think Tuesday tickets go on sale, and then Doctor Strange is out the 4th or the 3rd. Like, we'll be seeing it the Thursday, so it'll be out 2 days later. So that's literally my prediction is November 1st. Because the movie comes out December 16th.
Usually launch things too is on Tuesdays too, so November 1st.
And that's a month and a half before the movie. I think if you say tickets are on sale, and I don't know what else. Like, I guess that's the thing for me too, is just because I feel like I know the story. I'm excited about a new footage, but I almost don't want to see anything, you know. And I'm gonna watch the last trailer, but like, I think they should show one more shot of Vader. I think this time from the face, but same thing, him just staring at something, even his lightsaber, maybe that. But I don't want, or a line could be said, but I want the same thing as they did in this trailer, like same amount of time, or maybe 5 seconds. I think, for me, Vader, even 10 seconds is too long. I just want 5 seconds. Because I imagine he will be in this movie, but I don't think it's going to be a huge amount, you know? Like, I think he'll be sprinkled in. He'll kind of be a little bit more than, like, what Batman was in Suicide Squad, you know? Like, I think his scenes will be longer, but it'll kind of be that where he, like, appears at the end, or appears a couple times at the beginning, appears once in the middle, once at the end. Like, the movie could end with him. Or, no, I don't think it'll end with him because it'll probably end like a happy note, but he could be one of the last shots, you know, of like, oh, sir, we've captured like Princess Leia, blah blah blah. Do you want to question her? Stuff like that.
And that would be really, really cool too. I mean, like
don't show that in the trailer.
Yeah, don't show it. Like you said though, like 10 seconds way too long. I would love. I don't want to hear his voice. I want to see a frontal shot of his helmet, and I want it to be like he's about to speak, but he doesn't, and it just makes you think, no, talk.
But if
and
he's
you
like,
have to wait.
What? And then just cuts it off.
That would drive me up a wall. I would be just wanting more.
I don't think they'll do that though. Just dropping one line, Luke. And he's just saying it. Was there anything else you wanted to say about the trailer? You're excited.
I'm excited. Like, I'm so excited I changed my cover photo on Facebook to Darth Vader's the back side of his helmet. Not even the front, just the back part from the trailer.
Rogue One trailer. Yeah.
But like, just I've wanted to see this kind of a dark tone in a Star Wars movie. As I said before, in the original trilogy, you got to see the Empire, but from the hero's perspective, it was still happy-go-lucky, positive, cheery. It wasn't dark, and it didn't capture that Imperial element. And the only time I've experienced that is when I played games like Star Wars Empire War, when I'm the Empire and I get to literally enforce and control the galaxy. And to see that on the big screen with this, and this dark tone, and seeing it from the perspective of characters who possibly will die this time, it feels completely different. It doesn't feel cheesy, hokey dokey. Like, it feels like this is serious. These guys are fighting for something real. They will probably die. And you get to full-on experience this darkness that is the Empire. And that's what has just sold me. I watched the trailer about 20 times in a row last night. I'm not even kidding. That's an underestimation.
Well, I cannot put it any better. I like the trailer a lot. Looks great. I'm very excited. And bring on December. You know, like I'm ready to go. Same thing. And then I'm ready for episode 8, but I'm very ready for 01. I think it's gonna be a great movie, despite people talking about these rumors and reshoots. I think it's gonna be a great movie. Mm-hmm. Moving on to two small pieces of news, but yet big. Speaking of Rogue One, Bail Organa, Jimmy Smith said that he has a cameo / small role. Before you speak, I just think it's a great idea. Like, it's good to have him around. He'll probably be a good age since he's aged since the prequels. I think. I don't want no scene with Leia, but I think just him setting up that he'll be on Alderaan would be good, just to make that hurt a little bit more of like, oh, Jimmy Smits, he's gone. Mm-hmm. But like I like that. I like that. The little stuff, like we said when we first heard this movie, like Vader has to be in it. Bail Organa doesn't have to be in it, but it adds that nice little sprinkle of like a more connected universe. So for me, I'm happy. Even if it's just one scene, I think it's a good idea to have him in there.
Mm-hmm. He's like, obviously he wasn't a main character in the prequels, but you get the gist that even in the games, he is a huge character for the Rebellion, especially when the Rebellion was starting to find itself and get founded. So to see him in this, it's going to be really, really impressive. Also because they only mentioned him in A New Hope, but to now finally, and you don't even know if he was an Alderaan, but now I feel like his story's going to get he's going to be he's going to have closure now, which is going to be nice to know because he saved Yoda. He saved Obi-Wan, technically. Oh, yeah. He saved Leia. Yeah. So he is a very influential character. Yeah, fuck Luke.
You know, Jimmy Smith, you could have just lived on Tatooine with them both, but no, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And then the last piece was that it wasn't like officially announced, but big reliable sources report that Lando Calrissian will be in the Young Han Solo movie, and they're looking for actors right now. I think they did say that the frontrunner, if you know who Donald Glover is.
Yes.
Charles Gambino, yeah, they say he's a frontrunner. I'd say that's a good choice, but just wait because it's like early on. But one, do you have anyone in particular? Do you care? And then two, how did you just feel about this for the film?
I have no idea who I would pick. I mean, there's a lot of good choices. I think when you're doing a Han Solo movie, Wesley Snipes, yeah.
Just take Gavin. It's like, you're 10 years younger.
I think a Han Solo movie, it's a given. You got to have these characters because you see in the original trilogy, you get to meet all these connections Han had, like Boba Fett and Lando, for example. They've got a history. Lando was the original. He owned the Falcon at one point, so
took it away,
I feel like maybe if they had that part in this movie,
for sure
I would love that. That would be hilarious to see.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Who would you think would you cast?
Well, I like Donald Glover. He's an obvious choice. I said it on our Twitter, but for me, it's Michael B. Jordan all the way. The guy that plays Human Torch. He played Creed. He's going to be in Black Panther. Like, he's just like, the thing with Lando is you need someone that's charismatic in two ways. That seems like kind of an asshole charismatic, but then also the ladies guy. Because that moment in Empire Strikes Back when he takes Leia's hand and kisses it. It's just like that, like, cringe, but in a good way of like, oh, he's touching on the lady and he can maybe take her, you know, like he's so smooth and charming, and I feel like you definitely need that. You can't just have the charisma guy who's an asshole. You need that smooth, like a guy that you make you believe. He's that guy who's like your best friend but like constantly screws you over. Like he'll be a guy who like every time you go to pay for dinner he's like, oh, my wallet. Like that's the guy I envision Lando as, and Han too, but like I want that. So I think Michael B. Jordan is great. For me, I think it was obviously and obvious, but it's like the Vader thing. It's good to hear that's going to happen, because I literally thought maybe, okay, not 100, but 99.9 Vader will be in Rogue One. He is, and that's great, but there was still that thing of like, oh, if he's not, such a missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. And same with this, because I feel like this will, I don't know if it's, I guess I'll ask you that after, but for me, I feel like this is probably better if it's just one movie and not like a trilogy, which has been rumored. Mm-hmm. And to me, if it is just one movie, I want to get the most out of Han, so I want to learn about Lando. And it's the thing of like, I'm not that excited for a young Han Solo movie because like we have Harrison Ford, we saw him young, so for me, I'm not excited. I'm gonna be there day one because I love anything Star Wars, but it wouldn't have been the first movie I would have picked, but they're doing it, so it's the thing of like, if you're gonna do it, then go the full way and recast Lando as well. So yeah, I want to see that, him taking the Falcon. I want to see how they met and their relationship, because they're not enemies, but they're kind of like always trying to outdo one another. Mm-hmm. And that's what I hope with this movie, with Rogue One. It's war and it's dire and all this. With Han Solo, we talk about those superhero movies too. I don't want whatever the main story conflict to be like a world-ending thing of like, oh, Han Solo, you need to do this and save this planet. Like, I want it just to be about his and Chewie's and maybe Lando's story as well. Like, I think the end goal of his movie should be like, if it's Boba Fett or somebody trying to get him and it gets away and sells that way. Like, I'm going to be really disappointed if they make Han Solo's story big, because to me, I feel like up until A New Hope, he's just doing his own adventures, smaller ones. Like, I feel like New Hope was the first time he's like being an officer or a general and saving people and saving stuff. So to me, it's like, it's kind of like with Die Hard when they're talking about doing a prequel. It doesn't really work, because the first Die Hard, it's like, that's supposed to be his first day where stuff goes wrong. But it's like, if you do a prequel, it's like, oh, so stuff's always been going wrong in his life? So same with Han. I just want, like, gambling. I want to see the underworld. I want to see that thing. I want to see him do the Kessel Run, you know, all this stuff. I don't want world-ending things, and with Lando being in it, that makes me think that it could be, even if they're pulling off a heist, like let's say they're going to steal something valuable from somebody, like that to me is even a good movie. I just don't want world-ending circumstances or big circumstances, and with Lando, to me that does make me think that could potentially be just about relationships and Han. Like, I wouldn't even mind if with Han, like, they wouldn't do it, but if it was like almost a bunch of little mini stories where they jump throughout the years to seem like him in the start, he meets Wookiee, he meets Chewbacca, and like goes through all, like, maybe if it was like a 5-year span, they'd be like year 1, year 2. I don't know. I just want like a bunch of little missions or like a little thing. I just want to be. It has to feel like Han Solo, and I don't want it to feel like Star Wars, which is weird. But I want it to feel like his separate story, and I want the actor to be young, so it feels like it's. I don't want it anywhere near. I want like 15, at least 10 years before Harrison Ford, Han Solo, you know? Because if it gets too close, it's that weird thing of like, well, I know what you look like, I know what you act like, so I'm like, that was a long rant, but like for me, it was just like, I saw him, like, oh, I'm very excited, and I just want him to cast a good actor, so.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I want it to be a standalone film, but I also, like with Rogue One, I want it to have that connection to the Star Wars.
That's what I was going to ask. You don't want it to be a trilogy? Because there's been rumors that it might be a trilogy, and I think a Han Solo trilogy might be too much. I don't know, maybe see 2, but I feel like all I need is 1. You know, like, and lots of people throwing this around, like, Obi-Wan to me as a character, I could see a trilogy, because there's so much time, and there's so much to me that happens to that character and what he might go through. But with Han, I feel like by the time the third one, you might be running out of little stuff for him to do, you know? And then that's when it could resort to big, like, world-ending stuff. And I feel like 1 movie, maybe 2, but I feel like 1 for sure is fine. I feel like some characters only need 1 movie.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely 1 movie. I don't want to see it. If they were doing a trilogy, but at the same time, like if they did a trilogy and it wouldn't take them away from working on other Star Wars films at the same time, then maybe. But no, overall I would like he's good for 1 movie. That's it.
And especially because I think they said their plan is in the next 10 years is like to keep it to 1 film. Maybe they'll go to 2 films a year, but at least 1 film a year. And it is like, I love Han Solo, but at the end of the day, like, I love Harrison Ford, Han Solo more. And we have 4, and then after this 5 movies with him, I think it'll be enough. I do want to see other characters explored, and even characters we don't know. I know we probably won't get a Knights of the Old Republic movie, but that is the type of prequels I kind of want next. Is something, I am waiting for the prequels that are thousands of years before this first Star Wars prequels, you know? Like, I think I've always said that. That's why I like Knights of the Old Republic, because you could have all these twists and shocking things, but it's, like, in the history book, so it doesn't have to... You don't have to worry about... Like I said, we talked about earlier with Jedha. For me, it's, like, that could impact the original trilogy in a way that I might not like. But if you do a story, like, 10,000 years ago, you're not going to impact anything, you know? Or, like... is it Darth Bane who's the one that created the Rule 2?
Rule 2,
yeah, like a movie like that. That's what I want more. I do. Like, in a Rogue One, we don't know any of these characters, but we know the mission, you know? So it still feels like I know what's going on. So, like, the prequels, I hope we get more into more of the lore, you know, where some people said, like, a Boba Fett Underworld movie. I think Underworld movie probably works better, because I don't know if Boba Fett can carry his own whole movie, because you have to take that mask off, things like that. But an Underworld with a bunch of bounty hunters, like, I do want to see more than just the characters. And I think some people like it. I don't know if I necessarily want, like, a Yoda movie, you know, like, I think Yoda's left there untold. So for me, I just, like, I think you put it the way of, like, if I could take, like, 3 Han Solo movies, or, like, 1 Han Solo movie and 2 new IPs, or even if... I'm not the biggest fan of a Yoda movie, but if they said, hey, we're doing a Yoda movie, I'd take that over another Han Solo movie, so...
Yeah, I would definitely thoroughly enjoy a movie that takes place in the Old Republic, like 10,000 years before. The thing that worries me, though, is if people are confused out the yin-yang about Rogue One being 30 years in the past, and this movie's 10,000 years in the past, like, I can't even imagine how, like, confused people
I think that would definitely take 5 years or so before I get used to that, but I think all you need to do in your trailer is just have a narrator say, 10,000 years ago, or a line like 10,000 years before New Hope, or something like that. Like, something easy. But you're right. When they get into that, I think they're just testing the waters with the Han Solo one, because they've not even announced any other spin-offs. Like, well, I think Rogue One to me is going to be a hit regardless, and it's like, it is a prequel, but it feels very New Hope-ish, where Han Solo's should be that first one where it's like, fully we're taking a separate character going. So I think between Rogue One and Han Solo, these are the two testers. Because I thought at Celebration they'd announce another spin-off, but I think they're waiting. I think if Rogue One does good critically with the fans and money-wise, I think you either get an announcement close after, or maybe even a year after, of another one. Because lots of people have been like, when's, like... The obvious one is Obi-Wan. Everyone's been talking about that. Ewan McGregor's perfect age. But I feel like they're waiting to pull the trigger. Because let's say if people... I don't think it will be the same reaction as the George Lucas prequels, but let's say it was like a less favorable reaction. They might be like, you know what, maybe we should step aside from prequels or something like that. I think Rogue One and Han Solo's the tester. Because even Han Solo, too, is like... It's... Arguably, other than Vader, I'd say your most popular character. Like, Luke is popular, and Obi-Wan and Leia, but I feel like like Vader and Han and even Boba Fett are the ones that people really love. So I feel like with these two, they're just gonna... I feel like they're still testing the waters.
So when you say Obi-Wan movie, do you mean when he's the right age? Do you mean like after, during the original trilogy, like before he meets Luke in those years?
Yeah.
Or do you mean like during the Clone Wars?
In between 3 and 4. No, in between 3 and 4. Because I feel like now he's that perfect age of... Like, if they did... Because how many years are between 3 and 4?
About 20.
20? So, like, let's say it's, like, in that 10-year mark, the halfway. I feel like he's the perfect age. You look at him now, and then if you were imagining Ewan McGregor 10 years later, he'd look the same or similar age as Alex McGinnis. I don't believe that, because I feel like Ewan McGregor probably look a lot better in 10 years, but still, just makeup and whatnot. So I feel like there's a lot. I'm not sure of what the story could be, but I know I want to see it. You know, I want to know what happens when he finds out that Darth Vader's still alive, and if he finds out that's Anakin. Obviously, he knows it's Anakin.
If he finds out Darth Vader's Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But obviously, he knows, so stuff like that, and struggle, that whole thing of, like, there is a rebellion, and I imagine there must have been some struggle of him wanting to go out and help. And even then, when Luke does meet him, he's not Yoda crazy, but he's a little off his rocker, Ben. So it's like, I want to see how he gets to that point, you know? So maybe bring in Darth Maul, you know, Darth Maul's hunting him down.
Bring the two of them into a movie. Now that would be a really
I don't think it will
movie.
happen, but, you know, I'm always craving more Darth Maul.
Darth Maul's getting a lot of attention in the cartoons, so, you know, if they did...
who knows this season, though? They might kill him all.
Who knows, yeah.
Well, was there anything else you wanted to say Star Wars related, whether it's this news or whether it was the trailer?
No, I think I vented. That trailer was phenomenal. I think Lando overall is great. The Jedha twist there, I think that's a pretty cool aspect or take on it, to include the Force.
We're buying what you're selling, is what we're saying. Disney and Lucasfilm. Yeah, we're ready. I'm ready for so much Star Wars after Force Awakens. Like, my hype level's definitely up. I'm considering. I haven't figured out. I want to watch Rebels before because they announced the premiere day is 24th, and haven't finished Clone Wars, but I think I want to catch up just because, as someone that hasn't read the books, I really want to see Thrawn, and just because Maul's back. But I do think I'm going to get into doing some audiobooks because I work outside a lot, so I think I'm going to do that because I don't have the time to read between everything I do, so I think I might get in some audiobooks and maybe do the Thrawn ones if they're out there. I think they're out there.
They should be out there. So when you say you haven't finished Clone Wars, have you tried continue getting through it?
I do. I usually watch like 2 episodes, I feel like every 3 weeks.
Okay, what season are you on?
I'm still on like the last 2 episodes of one. It's tough because I watch a couple and then it's like there's usually a good one and then there's a couple like lame ones. I'm like, oh, I need a little break, and it's just like I can see where it will get better, but it's just that thing of because there's 5 seasons and there's so many episodes. Like, and that thing of like I want to catch up with Rebels only because the reason is I would like to know what happens to Maul before I have to find out about it on the web.
You could totally skip right to that season with Maul because he's got his own story arc. So,
yeah, true.
I mean, it would save you the hassle because he is really interesting in Rebels to see what he's been up to.
True. Well, I'll keep all the geeks out there updated on my Star Wars being where could I keep them updated, Taylor Field?
You can keep them updated on... Well, you update us on our Facebook. But I was going to say your Twitter, because you update mostly on Twitter.
I was just throwing to you so you can say to Facebook.
Okay,
but
yeah. But Facebook, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the search bar, on Google with the internet connection, you can find us on Facebook. GeekVerse Space Podcast. It's amazing. It's got tons of awesome Star Wars stuff.
GeekVerse.com. That's our main one. You can find every one of our links. I'll list a few of them. Like I said, Twitter at GeekVerseCast. Find all our podcasts, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, the whole shebang. And yeah, geekverspodcast.com. That's where you want to go for news updates and polls and hashtag of the week. And just you see all our other shows. We got lots of shows. We got 4 spin-off shows. We got Geeks Creed. We got Dynamic Duo. We got Rant, Rave, Repeat. We got Netflix and Fail. So we're pretty much moving to like a 2-episode base, like weekly. So we got something for everybody. So thank you much for tuning in. I have no idea what will be on next week's episode. We have a few episodes that are pretty fun that we were recorded in the hatch. So we're gonna see. So
big surprise, big unveiling.
Maybe. Or just a fun, good old cast. So
hashtag fun.
Yeah, no matter what, we promise you it will not be boring. Thank you for tuning in.
Hashtag safe animal.